Good day, our dear viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode full of learning and fun only here at Salida Teleradio. I am your teacher host, Teacher Melky de la Serna from La Filipina National High School. We are in La Filipina National High School official Facebook page and simultaneous broadcast with our partner radio station 98.3 Gold FM, Cuyao, no? Today, you will learn another interesting topic about positive and negative messages conveyed in a text. In English 8 Quarter 2. Together with your teacher broadcaster, Teacher KATHERINE AMOR SEMBLANTE. Now, I will turn you over to Teacher Kathy.
Hello viewers, listeners and dear students. Welcome to our lesson this afternoon. Still, we are very glad and happy because despite this pandemic that we are facing, we will still be able to discuss and deliver our lesson to you. Our lesson this afternoon is positive and negative messages conveyed in a text that can be found on your Module 5 in Quarter 2 in our English lessons. But first, let us know our objectives. The first objective is recognize positive and negative messages conveyed in a text. The second one is to resolve the impact of the negative messages and make it into positive. Now, before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you heard someone gave you a negative comment or negative message? How did you respond to it? How did you react to it? Another one. Had you given someone a negative comment? How did you feel about it? Have you thrown or uttered to someone a negative comment? And how do you feel about it? Of course, all of us have already experienced and received comments, both negative and positive. When we receive positive comments or positive messages, of course, it can uplift our spirit, it can uplift our heart. We will be encouraged, we will be happy, we will be elated. But if we can receive a negative comment or message, we will be disheartened, discouraged, we will feel sad, and we will feel down. Right, students? Yes. So now, I want you to get a pen and a paper. We're just going to identify if the statement that I'm going to read is a positive one or a negative one. You just have to write positive if you find it positive and negative if you find it negative. Are you ready? Statement number 1. Your aunt told you this. You will never graduate because of your poor performance in school. Is this a positive or negative? For statement number 2, you have been commended by your teacher, and she said, "Congratulations! You have done a great job in accomplishing all the tasks of your modules." Is it a positive or a negative? Statement number 3. You are busy cleaning the house while your sister is busy answering her module and you want her to help you. And you told her you are very lazy and you are of no help and use at all. Is it a positive or negative? For statement number 4, you told your classmate this. You have the lowest score in English assessment. You are indeed the weakest link in class. Is it a positive or negative one? And for statement number 5, your mother told you this. I am so proud and happy of your achievements. Is this a positive or negative one? Okay, students, please keep your answers first because we're going to use them later. Okay, I know that you have already opened and read some of your modules because it has been given ahead of time. Now, I want you to get your module number 5 and turn to page 8 and find out the story, One Story, Many Lessons. I guess you have already read this story, but I'm going to give a background information about this story. In the story, one story, many lessons, there is the one character who is Johnny. And Johnny is the youngest in the family. His father told him one morning to quit school. So Johnny begged and told his father that his studies will not cost him any cent. He will strive and he will try very hard to send himself in school. So Johnny, at age 11, washed cars, mowed lawns, danced on street corners, and shined shoes. He earned a living through these jobs because he really wanted to finish his studies. Years passed. He graduated and finished his studies. And in Second World War, he was able to fly small planes. And then, he became not just a pilot, but he became an owner of an airport. So as you can see, students, his father told him some negative comments and messages. But what did Johnny do? I will ask you this question. What was the negative statement heard and received by Johnny? Of course, he received that when his father told him that he needs to quit school and he needs to help in the farm in order to help his family. But how did Johnny take the negative message he heard? Johnny begged. Of course, he was disheartened at first. He was discouraged. But then, he begged and told his father that he will continue his studies. And what did Johnny do in order to turn his negative situation into a positive one? He took that negative statement of his father as a challenge. He earned a living. He looked for jobs in order to pay his school obligations and be able to send himself in school without costing any cent from his father. So as you can see, students, we can turn a negative statement or negative comment into a positive one. So let's try to differentiate a positive message and a negative message. When you say positive message, it is a type of communication that provides good news, acceptance, encouragement, or congratulations. Meaning to say, when you say a positive message, it is a message or comment that can uplift one's spirit, that can encourage someone, that can give elation, that can give joy, that can give gladness to someone. It will eventually help you to be motivated and challenged to strive harder. And when you say negative message, these are rejections or discouragement that can create hardship for a person emotionally. Meaning to say, a negative comment can dishearten, can discourage, can make someone feel down, can make someone sad, and can hurt and pain someone. Okay, let's go back to the statement from our task 1. When you answered positive or negative, let's try to find out what is the given situation. Is it a negative or a positive one? Your aunt told you this. You will never graduate because of your poor performance in school. Is this positive or negative one? Of course, this is a negative statement. Because once you heard the statement from someone, especially from your aunt, you will be disheartened, you will be discouraged. Eventually, you may cry, right? But how can we turn this statement into a positive one? Your aunt could have told you this. You will only graduate if you will improve your performance in school. So which is better, the first statement or the second statement? Of course, the second statement is better because this is a positive statement that eventually can make someone go for and do for everything. Can strive. It will make someone to do better and to strive harder in study so that he can graduate. Statement number 2. Congratulations! You have done a great job in accomplishing all the tasks of your modules. This was told by your teacher. Is it a positive or negative one? Of course, this is a positive comment, right? Because you have been commended by your teacher. And how would you feel about it? Of course, you will be encouraged to do more. You will be happy. You will be excited, right? Statement number 3. You told your sister this. You are very lazy and you are of no help and use at all. Is this a positive or negative comment? Okay, this is a negative comment because you can turn this into positive one. Try to imagine how would you feel if your sister will tell you this statement that you are lazy and you are of no use and help at all. Of course, your sister might be discouraged, might be disheartened. In layman's term, malain imong igsuon. So we can change this negative statement into a positive one. You could have said, you can continue with what you are doing after you help me. So this means, at least your sister, you are encouraging your sister that she can continue doing her modules if she will help you. Statement number 4. You told your classmate this one. You have the lowest score in English assessment. You are indeed the weakest link in class. How would you feel if someone uttered this to you? Or how would you feel if someone will tell you this? Of course, you will be disheartened. You will be discouraged. You will feel sad. It might pain you. It might cause you hurt, right? But we can turn this negative statement into a positive one. You could have told your classmate this one. You could do better in the next English assessment, so study harder. So meaning you are encouraging your classmate that she or he needs to study harder in order for her to get better results in English assessment. So you are encouraging, you're uplifting someone's spirit by this statement. And for number 5, your mother told you this. I am so proud and happy of your achievements. Is this a positive or negative one? Of course, this is a positive statement. Because coming from your mother, this statement coming from your mother, how would you feel about it? Well, you will be happy, right? You will feel encouraged to do more. You will be driven to reach for your dreams and accomplishments. So you see, students, it's up to you on how are you going to deliver your comments and messages. Now, I want you to think of something because you are staying at home right now. I want you to think of something that you have uttered to your classmate in group chat or in text, to your brother or sister or to your parents during this pandemic. Maybe you could have told your sibling this one. You will never get high marks because you are not good in school. Imagine, try to be on the shoe of your sibling. How would you feel if someone will tell you you will never get high marks because you are not good in school? But instead of saying this statement, you could have said, you need to be good in your studies in order for you to get high marks. So this one, you are encouraging, but you are not discouraging someone. You are encouraging your sister or your brother or your classmate to do better so that he or she can get high marks. Now, using positive language whenever possible. So as I said, whenever possible, we need to use positive language or positive statements or comments because it can encourage and uplift someone's spirit. You're going to use subtle word. Meaning to say, when you say subtle, delicate, or in layman, or another term, nicer, kanang mas buutan nga term, dili nang mas masakit na term. Subtle word changes can have a big effect on the overall tone of a message. If you're going to use nicer words, if you're going to use kinder words, it will really have a big impact to someone. So instead of using harsh words, why not try to use nicer words when you're talking to someone? And state what to do rather than what not to do. For example, your output have not met my expectations. So of course, this is a negative statement. Your output have not met my expectations. If I'm going to be told like this statement, I will be disheartened, I will be discouraged. Maybe I won't be submitting any longer my outputs. But you could have said, your output could meet my expectations the next time you do it. So this is a positive one, meaning to say you are encouraging someone. You're encouraging someone to do better the next time. If his output is not better in the first submission, then on the next submission, you could put more effort, more creativity so that it could meet the expectation of your teacher, right? Let's go back to this statement. You will never get high marks because you're not good in school. As I said, this is a negative statement. How did we turn it into a positive one? You need to be good in your studies in order for you to get high marks. Meaning to say, you are motivating someone, you are challenging someone that he needs to study in order to get high marks so that he could perform well in school. So instead of saying, you will never get high marks, why not encourage someone to study better so that he could do more in his or her studies? Number 2, emphasize what is the case rather than what is not for. Meaning to say, you need to emphasize what is the case instead of saying what is not. Example, you will never be accepted in the group because of your low mark. So this is really disheartening, right? This disappoints someone. This can discourage someone because imagine that you are not accepted in the group because of your low marks. But instead of saying this, why not encourage someone and tell this? You will only be accepted in the group if you will do your best to get high marks. You are not discouraging someone, but you are encouraging someone, you are motivating someone, you are challenging someone to do better in class, to study harder so that he or she could get high marks in order for him to be accepted in the group. Right? So, instead of saying harsh words or negative comments, again, please, when possible, use positive language, use positive comments, use positive messages so that someone can be encouraged by you and not be discouraged by your comments. Now, class, let's proceed to your assessment. Using a one whole piece of paper, you're going to have 2 assessments, Set A and Set B. For Set A, both Set A and Set B, you're going to do a column. Column 1 and Column 2. For Set A, you are going to list at least 2 of the negative comments you heard from someone. And you're going to answer in the next column, how did you respond to it? How do you turn it into a positive one instead? Again, for Set A, Column 1, you're going to write at least 2 negative comments you heard or received from someone. And on the next column, you're going to write to answer how did you respond to it or how did you turn it into a positive one instead. For Set B, you are going to list at least 2 negative. You're going to take a list or make a list of at least 2 negative comments you have uttered or you have given to someone. And on the next column, you're going to answer how did you feel about it. Again, for Set B, in Column 1, you are going to write the negative comments you have given or you have thrown to someone. And in Column 2, you're going to answer how did you feel about it. Did it make you happy or did it make you sad? And you will be graded through these rubrics. For content, you're going to be given 3 points if all answers are related to real-life experiences. 2 points if some of the answers are related to personal events. And 1 point if it's not related to personal accounts at all. And for the mechanics, you are going to be given 3 points if there's no grammatical errors. 2 points if you committed 1 to 3 grammatical errors. And you can only get 1 point if you have committed more than 4 grammatical errors. You're going to submit this to your English teacher on the next retrieval of modules. And for your assignment, you are going to write a 3-line statement as a reflection. Post it on your social media accounts and send a copy of screenshot to your group chat and to your English teacher. You are going to make a 3-line statement of this. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Okay, students, I hope you've learned something from me today. And let's go back to our objectives first. Our first objective was to recognize positive and negative messages conveyed in a text. So this is what we do with the story, one story, many lessons. We've identified the positive and the negative comments conveyed from the text. And another one, you've already learned how to resolve the impact of the negative messages and make it into positive ones. So these are based on the examples I had given that we've turned the negative statement into a positive one. So students, this must have been your teacher, Kathy, your English grade 8 teacher. I hope you really learned something from me today. Goodbye and until next time.
Wow! That was a very comprehensive and engaging discussion, Teacher Kathy. Thank you so much, and thank you, dear viewers and listeners, for tuning in. I hope you have learned something today. Once again, I am your teacher host, Teacher Melky. Thank you. Bye-bye.